Locals tell us a year ago the streets of Brussels were never guarded. But today, 1 year after the Belgium terrorist attacks, the streets are now filled with military vehicles like this one. I'm here on the street where earlier today the shooter Cedric Anderson parked his vehicle before entering through the main entrance of the school, where he told school officials that he was simply here to drop something off. People are riled up here outside Bradley International Terminal at LAX. There's hundreds of people here right now, people from all different backgrounds. We have men, women, even some children. 2 bombings at the airport and another here at the Malbec metro station. Locals have set up this memorial to remember the 20 lives lost. You can see the number of people here flooding the streets in downtown LA, and here's an aerial view as they started to walk around City Hall. The U.S.-Mexico border is often portrayed as a place of conflict or violence, but here at Friendship Park, that's not the case. Here at Parliament, EU representatives just briefed us and explained that although they wish the United Kingdom had wanted to remain part of the EU, they are hopeful. In the meantime, vendors could still be cited or fined for selling food on the streets, although it would not be considered a criminal offense. Despite student protests and ongoing conservation efforts here at USC, these solar panels on the tops of these umbrellas here in this courtyard remain the only evidence of solar technology that has been implemented here by the university. Now, this petition opposes any and all governmental action which would discriminate against people based on their religion or national origin. According to George, there are similarities between what happened back in World War II and what is happening now with the Muslim community. Do you agree? Trump's immigration ban certainly has impacted the USC community. I'll start with you, Sina. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how this ban impacted you personally and what today's decision means to you? Do you think that USC students, or by extension millennials, really think that this is a big move for Snapchat or a good move for Snapchat? The film Hidden Figures is nominated for 3 Oscars, including Best Picture. It tells the true story of 3 gifted African-American women working at NASA in the 1960s. Today, Theresa May's signed letter was delivered to the European Union here in Brussels, signaling the start of Brexit. What does Brexit mean for the European Union politically and economically?
Look, I will not pretend that today is a happy day. It is not a happy day, neither here in Brussels nor in London, because after all, most of the Europeans and almost half of the British voters would have preferred for Britain to stay within the European family. But Madison, paradoxically, what we see is a renewed sense of purpose of the remaining 27.
Although the 27 remaining states have rallied together despite Britain's move, many young European citizens agree it's a disappointing day.
I think the Brexit is kind of a lose-lose situation for both the UK and the European Union, because we were contributing so many things to each other.
I think it's really sad. Yeah. Well, we love the British, and they bring a lot to Europe.
I always considered England as a part of Europe, so to me it's some sort of a tragedy. Okay?
Here at Parliament, EU representatives just briefed us and explained that although they wish the United Kingdom had wanted to remain part of the EU, they are hopeful for peaceful negotiations in the upcoming years on some of their most pressing issues, such as counterterrorism and crime. In Brussels, for Annenberg Media, I'm Madison Weil. Rosa Robles reaches her fingers through the rusted steel fence on the U.S.-Mexico border. She's waiting for her daughter. She's been waiting here every Sunday for 27 years.
Tiene 27 años y la policía de escondido me la arrancó y me echaron a Tijuana. Y quiero decirle que aquí está su madre esperándola con los brazos abiertos.
Robles is not alone. Between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on weekends, people on both sides of the border are permitted to speak through a fence at Friendship Park, located on the beach just south of San Diego. The U.S.-Mexico border is often portrayed as a place of conflict or violence, but here at Friendship Park, that's not the case. There's a steel fence behind me, and all day long people have been meeting and greeting their family members, their loved ones, and their friends. It's a very intimate and emotional experience for many.
Que no van a hacer de mal de sus 27 años de estar viniendo todos los domingos aquí.
Jose Silva is visiting his wife. He's a U.S. resident. She was deported earlier this year. A Border Patrol agent prevented us from interviewing him on camera, but he told us he is grateful to hear his wife's voice once a week. Some visit the park just out of curiosity.
It's one thing to hear people talk about it and to see it on the news and to read about it, but it's another thing to come here and actually see it and feel it. And, we saw some people on the other side and we made some conversations. It's very humbling.
Others expressing concerns about the future, given President Trump's new executive order to build a wall.
Beginning today, the United States of America gets back control of its borders, gets back its borders.
However, Trump's order does not specify how the wall will be funded, stating only that he plans to use federal funds for the planning, designing, and constructing of the wall, and that he wants to develop, quote, long-term funding requirements.
Trust me, Mexico will pay for it.
And I will have Mexico pay for that wall.
Who is going to pay for the wall? Who?
Well, Mexico says it's not paying for that wall, so just how much will this cost? Trump has said between 5 and 10 billion. However, experts say that number is off by a lot.
Build that wall.
With estimated costs for concrete, cement, labor, and land acquisition, the actual total could be as high as $25 billion. While the future of the border is uncertain, in the meantime, families will keep coming to visit loved ones here at Friendship Park while they still can.
Todos los domingos estoy aquí esperando. Tengo la esperanza de que un día vendrá.
For Annenberg Media, I'm Madison Weil. One local vendor, working on the corner of 6th and Grand, says he has to work today to feed his family. He believes decriminalizing street vending will help not only sellers, but also the customers that they serve.
We're trying to fit our families like everybody else, and we're not doing nothing illegal. We're just trying to survive.
These guys work hard, and they're busy. A lot of people come and, partake in his foods.
Instead of charging vendors with misdemeanors for selling, city council members are vowing to set up a regulated system. A restaurant worker says many immigrants work the jobs that many wouldn't want to.
I know so many dishwashers, line cooks. They have 3 jobs, and they literally work morning and night, Monday through Friday, 365 days a year. And it's not fair to them that they're the ones that are getting, I guess, harassed, you can say, when in reality, they just want to feed their kids.
LA city staffers say that it could take weeks or months to figure out how to get permits to all of LA's street vendors. But in the meantime, vendors could still be cited or fined for selling food on the streets, although it would not be considered a criminal offense. Herrera says as an immigrant, he hopes others can have access to the same opportunities for success as he has.
People say that they don't want the immigrants to come out here. I actually want them to come out here because if they're giving the same opportunity I'm giving, everyone's going to thrive.